going to call the meeting to order. We'd like to pause to seek guidance, please. Okay, now we're going to do the mission statement. To provide, promote, or facilitate municipal services that meet the community needs by preserving, supporting, and enhancing quality of life for all. Now it's the approval of the agenda. Is there any additions or deletions?
I have a deletion, the item under business arising from the minutes, number 3, St. John Ferry. I would like to remove it.
Okay. Anything else? Ben, would someone like to approve?
Oh, sorry, I do have an in-camera item, contractual.
Okay. Okay.
I'll move the agenda as amended.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. There are no presentations this evening, so next is the minutes. The minutes were March 25th, 2013. Is there any amendments needed? And if not, could we have approval?
So,
Is there a seconder?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is business arising, council strategic priorities 2013 to 2016.
And this would be formal approval of the strategic priorities?
Yes. So could we have someone move that, please?
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
What are you moving?
What was the exact wording again?
You're moving the council strategic priorities
Oh.
of 2013 to 2016.
Yeah.
Just, you remember, council's new to us. We just
Can't read mine.
Sorry. I was trying to multitask and failing at it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next is the Wharf Rat Rally Trail recommendations. Deputy Warden?
I'd like to move the staff recommendations on going forward with the Wharf Rat Rally Committee on allowing the use of the airport for the Wharf Rat Rally event.
Is there a seconder?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. I do like to say thank you for it was a good report. Now, business arising or any old business, Councilor Manzer,
No.
Councilor Tudor.
Just to let you know that the third counselor is not back yet for Westport in
Okay.
regards to the school and everything is not all the property yet. So both those should be soon though,
Okay.
just to let everybody know.
Councilor Adams is not here today due to illness. Deputy Warden Caroline,
No.
and no. Next is under new business. Senior safety funding requests, financials and budget. Someone going to
I'm
recommend?
going, I'd like to move it through our budget process, please.
Okay.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Alright.
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next is the craft celebration tour. What I wanted is, I want to meet with Renee LeBlanc, with the mayor of the town. You saw the little update about it, but I want to make sure I have council approval in principle, not that we will definitely will, but that we may look at this.
Do you for a motion?
Yeah. Just in principle.
I'll make a motion that discussions take place with the mayor and the manager of Pines Hotel in regards to the craft celebration tour.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next is Speed Nova Scotia. Now, this is not for the, I was gonna say proclamation, but it's for, in it, I'm just trying to get to it. It talks about a fast they'd like to see us do. It's from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock the next morning. It's not raising money, it's just raising awareness. You are allowed to drink, and not alcohol. You are allowed. I'm just saying. So, I was just trying to I'm too slow with this one. I was trying to get to the date and see if I'm interested in it, and I'm hoping some of you might be.
Yeah, let's put the run on hunger, or hold on hunger, what was that called?
It's right in the middle of the,
I know, it's just
It's in
trying
correspondence,
to
wasn't
get
it?
down to
right in the
it.
middle of the spring workshop.
Oh, is it?
Spring workshop, 8, 9, and 10.
There it is.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's bad. I was thinking of working. Working, I could handle it.
Same here, but sitting in a,
Ew.
anyway.
Okay, but it's just something now then for us to think about.
Yeah.
You can always do,
That-
you could be there and do it the day before, and,
Yeah,
Well, if you
to
want.
me, I thought, I was thinking of it being, that's a bad time for a convention. But it is, it's to give us some awareness of what people feel when they're hungry and there's just nothing. And I thought that would be a good thing. So you're right, I may do it a different day, but I am going to try it. See how I can make it.
May 6th to 10th is the whole week, and May 8th is the day.
Yeah. We'll have to see what I can do.
so you're gonna do it and represent us all then?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay, that's it.
And I'll lose 1,000 pounds, right? All right. Next is Health Canada's proposed approach to managing energy drinks. And we had a meeting, Deputy Warden and I'd like him to speak on what he was talking about.
Okay. I'll give a little background so you understand where it's coming from. Back a few months ago, we had a presentation in Halifax at the UNSN board meeting in regards to the Department of Health were coming in to talk about alcohol and alcohol awareness and alcohol in the workplace. And at that meeting, I had raised the issue about energy drinks mixed with alcohol and the impact of that takes place and that they would see in the health system. And I've talked to the warden about this before because of her profession and what impacts there are with the mixing of alcohol and energy drinks. So anyways, a gentleman by the name of Larry Phillips contacted me. He's with the Department of Health in Yarmouth. And the people in Halifax would have contacted him, he gave him my name, because I showed an interest in this. And he contacted me, wanted to meet with him and have a discussion about it. So I said, sure. So he invited one of his coworkers, who happens to be one of my cousins, but Lisa McAlpine, and then I invited the warden to attend. And we had a good meeting with him on the 9th of April to discuss this. And then just this week, Lisa sent us some information. Did you get that, Linda? And it's really, really good information, and talks about the impacts of mixing alcohol and energy drinks, especially in situations when young people go out to bars. A lot of times they don't realize how much alcohol they consume because they're mixing it with energy drinks. The energy drinks keeping them more aware and awake, whereas if they were just to drink alcohol, they'd get tired and more of a depressant. So there really are some huge issues dealing with this. So one thing that I'd like to see is consider looking at is to see if there's a willingness by the businesses in the municipality that serve alcohol to ask that maybe they don't serve energy drinks to their patrons because of the impacts. And not only that, and what's very disturbing about it is that when you go to the liquor store, they sell drinks that are basically energy drinks mixed with alcohol, but the loophole around getting around it is they don't have caffeine in it. They have a natural form of caffeine, So there's a loophole in the Food
Food and Drug Act.
Food and Drug Act that allows that to take place. So, and some of these drinks have a high concentration of alcohol.
Yeah, like 7.2, 7.5%.
Right. So, I see that as a concern, and so I'm raising that to council, that I'd like to see is pursue this further and see what kind of support we can get from the business people in our community in regards to the impact that these drinks have on people.
And what is your feeling?
Yeah, it's workable.
Well, it would have to be, what's the word I'm looking for, of their own free will, to make sure it's not anything we can legislate anything.
Oh, that's for sure, but
Oh, yes, we understand that.
I think what the next step, if council supports it, is that I'd like to maybe pursue this with the warden and talking to the business people that would just, and if nothing else, have an awareness to the business people that possibly would be selling this type of a beverage.
I have absolutely no problem with anybody talking about anything.
It would be the business's choice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
whether
I know a
they-
business that specifically doesn't, the one in Little River. He read that they were unhealthy, and I was asked if he had one back in my caffeine days, which I've been doing that. He said that he had bad health, so there are people doing that already in the area, business owners.
Well, there's two steps to it. It's like, I'm not really looking at banning energy drinks. I'm looking at maybe not having energy drinks available in places where people are served alcohol. Because when they mix the two, that's when there's a problem. That's,
Yeah.
well, not to say there's not a problem if you abuse them just by drinking energy drinks. If you drink enough of them, they got such a high concentration of caffeine in them, it's not healthy. But when you mix the two together, it causes a lot of problems. And so actually the information that we received, we'll see that you
It's already
received.
been, it's already
They've
been.
already got
sent
it?
out. Yeah.
Okay, good. So if you have a chance to read that, it'd be good.
Okay, so we've got permission. Next is the Westport Ladies Recreation Hall bill request for funding.
I have a question about that. Is that detailed enough for us, or should I tell them that they should write a little more on that?
Linda will ask for a,
Okay.
yeah, budget.
I'll move this as referred to a budget process.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Next is the Welcome Committee Deputy Warden.
Okay. I've asked to have this put on the agenda for tonight. When we had our strategic planning session, this was one of the topics that was raised as something that we should be looking at going forward. And I had a chat with a lady that lives in Marshalltown that's moved to the area a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the whole program of having a welcoming committee, and she was going on telling me about the difficulty she saw and not knowing where things were or what was going on in the area. And I mentioned to her that we had discussions about this, so I wanted to bring it forward because I'd like to see us get this started sooner rather than later. And I think it fits in well with what Councillor Tudor is trying to do down on the islands with the depopulation. So it would be good to have some type of committee put in place to at least start a welcoming committee. And my recommendation, or my thoughts were that we had one councillor serve on this, and the rest of the people would be made up of the community volunteers. And this lady I talked to actually said she'd serve on the committee, and she's got experience working on a welcoming committee in a previous part of her life in another country. So she's a very well educated lady with a lot of things to bring to the table. So I see this as being something that we would need some staff help on, and like whether Rob would be able to help start this process.
What about, would we learn anything from the navigator who used to be with Adita?
Oh, for sure.
I mean, I assume her job is now gone as well.
Yeah, it is gone.
I do. The federal government stopped funding the Navigator program, but with that program gone and nothing there right now to take it up, that's why I really think it'd be important to get something going.
Well, yes, but I'm just thinking it would be good if we can get,
Some information.
yeah, we don't wanna do it twice.
No, but
Are you, going to serve on the committee?
actually, I talked to Councillor Tudor, and he's interested in serving on it at this time. I don't have time to take on any more committees, but it is something that I'd like to see us, if we start. And I really don't, I'd rather see more community involvement, because we have a lot of people in the community that can bring a lot to the table. And, because I'm thinking that a committee like this it would be very beneficial if there was somebody from the real estate world on it, and someone, maybe a banker or somebody with accounting or something, they could offer some assistance on trying to guide people. So we may wanna have a discussion on how, what the makeup of the committee would be, and we don't have to reinvent the wheel. There's already committees like this up and going in Nova Scotia, so it's a matter of finding out what their mandate is and what their governance structure is. So we could maybe just, as a starting point, just to get some information on that, and then go from there.
I would like to speak to this just for a moment. Yeah, welcome wagons. They're also a really good way for local businesses to expose themselves to people who showed up. Quite often there's a 20% off or coupons, and maybe a list of local businesses and phone numbers you can stick on the fridge. I've been doing a ad hoc version of this on the islands. Just I'd grab like 15, 20 people and just show up, sort of thing. A bottle of wine, maybe some grub or whatever, and they take it super well, like tears, like, oh my goodness. So it's also part of the plan I had for Medic. Was one of the things was a welcoming committee, and I wonder if I think there's a lot of uses for a welcoming committee, from Medic to replacing the loss of the navigator, to just publicizing local businesses and the buy local aspect. I think it's a great idea, and it's a lot of work. Even the little bit that I've been doing down there, I'm surprised at how much effort goes into it. And if you look on the internet, there's a thing called Welcome Wagon. People might be willing to take a little glance at that. But it's definitely work for a committee and not a person, because it is quite a bit. So yeah, I think it's wonderful, and I'd love to volunteer for that. So what should our next step be?
Next step is the form as sort.
Should we, in the makeup of this committee, should we have at least one person from each district? At least
Oh,
one?
definitely, because I was just gonna say, we need to, I don't think this is the place or the time.
No, but
But I think that we need to have a session that we can sit down ourselves and think, this is what we'd like to see on the committee, because that's what I was thinking.
at least one.
And some you're gonna need, according to your geographic area, I mean, Croydon, Mount Pleasant, Lakers Road, Shore Road are so different than like going down the neck. I mean, you aren't even gonna know. So, I can see more than one, and, you have a big area.
Yeah,
You know?
But you could,
Well,
at least one. maybe-
The same, what you had in Bear River isn't gonna be what Sandy, or Miss Cole would know.
I know it's gonna sound large, but I think you're gonna look at a committee of at least 12 people.
Oh, at least,
At least
I
12
can see 15.
Because of the work involved in doing something like that. So, but I brought it up tonight just to get the ball rolling on it, but I do think that we have to have further discussions on it at another time.
I would like to do it as a bylaw policy once we're all finished, probably the end of June area or that time, yes.
Can I ask then that possibly we can have staff do some research on the governance models of some other
Certainly.
welcoming committees in the province, so we can have that for discussion? Okay, thank you.
We're overdue. There's so many wonderful uses for one of these. It'll really fit in with a lot of other things that we are doing around here. Not just population, but, like I said, buy local, I think, situation.
The next is the citizenship plaque. This has to be decided on this evening, okay, this cannot be referred. It's a request for, first of all, George Manzer, I'm sure you will give out the plaque if we do this, which I'm assuming we will.
This is at the Dell thing?
Down,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
All right.
Darlene sent me an email and mentioning that with it, and so I
Okay.
marked it in there.
Good. And what I would ask for, there's, assuming the cost was not $69.95 last year, would approximately be the same this year. So could we make a motion that we would buy a plaque no more than $100?
I'll make that motion, that we purchase a plaque for the Digby Community Education Center's 15th annual graduation exercises for, well, I guess it's a citizenship plaque.
For the citizenship plaque.
Community
Yeah.
Education Center.
Yeah. For the citizenship plaque. Is there a second?
I'll second that. Did I say it too quick or something?
Yes,
No,
George?
I was just going, I was thinking it's good.
You have to get a chance.
That's fine.
All in favor? Contrary minded, motion carried.
It's the not trying to interrupt thing. I guess I panicked on that
You're
one.
working.
I'm doing good today.
Now, the next is on Tuesday, May 21st, from 6:30 to 8:30 at the Rod Grand Yarmouth. There is a Nova Scotia Power Regional Committee, and it's including all municipal councilors and staff to participate in discussion with Nova Scotia Power. If it's possible, I will be in the Yukon, so I will not be there. I would like, if it's
You got my
possible.
email on that, didn't you? You'd asked me if I could go.
Yeah, no, yes, but just
Okay, so,
my little formal thing. That I'm hoping, which I know is, that Deputy Warden is taking my place there, but I would like to see other councilors go if they can, because I think we need input. If the staff, that's up to Linda, I'm not even touching that with a 10-foot pole. That's not our place, that's our CEO's place. But I think it's important to attend if you can. They want feedback, and I think it's important.
if other councilors are not able to attend, and if they want to give me any questions that they may want to have raised, I can raise them on their behalf,
Thank you.
or on behalf of the municipality, but
Mhm. But I just,
I would like to go, or plan on going,
oh, I hope
because
so.
I've already met with Bob Wadden from
Mhm.
Nova Scotia Power 2 weeks ago, whatever, so.
I'm hoping as many
Yeah.
can, I think it's important. I think they need to see that we are concerned, about power.
And
And-
I'll give Royce a call this week, and see if she wants to go, let her know that I'm going, and if she
Yes.
wants to go.
Yeah, because she probably isn't gonna be able to drive. Oh, she might by
Oh,
then.
by then.
Oh, no, she will not be here.
Oh,
She's,
okay.
she's,
Going to?
yeah, she's going to go ahead. She's actually gonna do a presentation at a council in BC on our solid waste. So, I was asked, but I
What's
asked her to do it,
It's
yeah.
going to BC?
Yeah, well, she's going to the FCM, but beforehand.
Oh, okay.
I can't think of her brother's council, but I was invited, and I had to ask her to fill in my place, which I thought was really nice. Next is transportation declare request for funding.
I move to refer this to the budget process.
And is there a seconder?
One second.
All in favor?
All right.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Excuse me. Next is the CAO report. In the CAO report, we got lots of lists for dates. The only one that's incorrect right now is on the 30th. It's the Highway 101 task force. We're trying to come up with a new date, and I don't know if we can.
We haven't been successful as yet.
No.
So that April 30th one's canceled?
Yes.
Linda, Ward, do you know the date of Maritza's meeting back at the hall? Yeah,
Yes, it's April 30th.
April 30th.
Today's, yeah. April 29th is our Monday, it's the Tuesday, so it's the 30th. May 7th, if people can, we have our EMO awareness training. Important for counselors to come, put it in your book.
When's that?
May 7th, 6 p.m.
Whereabouts?
Is it going to be here?
Yes, we probably have to juggle it, but yes, it is here.
Okay, it is here.
It's
6
quick.
o'clock. Municipal building. May 8th to 10th is the UNSM Spring Workshop. Is anyone going? I mean, I'm going, you're going. George, are you going?
To the 7th, when was that again?
8th to the 10th, were you going? Did you register yet?
May or June?
May.
There was something else on the 8th.
Oh, okay.
No, something in Yarmouth also at the,
Well, that's, yeah,
Yes, that's for new counselors, that would be for
yeah,
you.
that would
that's a
be,
sustainability session.
it's on, I think it's on the 8th.
Yeah.
And then on the 10th, I gotta be in Halifax again with Helen,
So are you just gonna go to the 8th?
I think I'll go to one on the 8th.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm gonna head up for those, but I might have to not be there on the 10th. I will be on that.
Okay, because you had to, if
Register.
he's going for part of it, he would still register, right?
Yes.
It's just possible the morning of the 10th, I might have something up at the nature.
Okay. So the 8th is all day, remember? Okay.
What I'll do,
But you have to register.
okay, I didn't
On
worry
the
about that. I already heard about that.
Okay. If you need help, Linda, who can I request to help him?
He should be able to do it, it's very easy, you go to UNSM website, put your name in, what municipality you're from, click, submit.
And they get the money from you later.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah. I think,
And have you booked your room?
well, Pat could hold my hand.
Yeah.
While I do it.
Are you asking
Sure,
Pat to
yeah.
book your room?
No, I'm teasing.
No, he's asking me to hold his hand.
Yeah, hold my hand while I'm looking at it to keep me from being overwhelmed by the complicated aspects of it.
I'm kind of complicated, okay? That's what we're asking. But no, have you got a room booked?
No, but I might stay in my in-laws' spare room. Is what I'm thinking.
Oh, they live in Yarmouth?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Save a few
Will
bucks.
they put you up?
Well, they'll put me up, but I don't know how much they'll put up with me. That's two different questions.
May 13th, members committee of the whole. May 20th, budget if needed. 21st is the PAC. From the 17th on, I will not be available. 27th is council, and I'm asking Deputy Warden to chair that. We also had our updates from the meetings. And we had our capital special project, our payables, and our financial reports, three audit figures.
Should I make a motion for the payables?
Well, I haven't got there yet, I'm just mentioning all that's on the list.
Okay.
We're going back
So-
to number one though.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, so the first one, no, I just listed off everything. So the first thing we're gonna do, there is a decision or direction for approval of tender for the trail planning. I hope,
I'll make a motion that we take the staff recommendations and that we award the contract to Sag House Design for $13,483.75 for the work on trail planning.
is there a seconder?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just wanted to indicate in terms of paying municipal share, that money can come from the trail reserve. We've set aside some money for this exact type of thing, so we can bring them in.
Excellent.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried.
I'd just like to say thanks to Gordon for all his good work on that stuff. Those trails.
He likes you, Gordon.
Good.
Yes, it is. I don't always get that esteem.
I am pleased, man.
Can we have the payables in amount of $62,381.64.
I move that we accept payables for $662,381.64.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Now, our financial report.
I have nothing to add.
Okay. So would someone like to make a motion on the financial report?
I move that we accept the financial report as presented.
Is there a seconder?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Correspondence is next, and that was the spring and the summer invitation and the statement of provincial interest, the extension. Next, we will be going to council committees. First, we have committee of the whole recommendations, approval of the tender for electrical engineering work.
That's the one with the machine?
Just putting them up.
Bring it up here. Something machine works, Martin Machines.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the recommendation from committee of the whole, that we award the tender for the electrical engineering work. There's two different ones there, and that was to CPCL.
Yes,
Why can't I find this?
it's on the bottom, go to your
I got it,
side.
I got it.
And,
So, we're taking the Martin machinery one, right?
Yes, for $421,000, and it just moved on me.
Right here, thank
Thank you.
you. US dollars, oh, that's 489,000 Canadian.
No.
Pardon me?
So it says, isn't it? Bob? Oh, no, Canadian was US. Yeah, never mind.
There's two motions there, and the first one is to CBCL. The second.
Oh,
motion-
gosh, yes,
the
I'm
second-
sorry.
The second is to Martin Machines.
I got them. I just went
Want
ahead of
to do
myself.
two separate motions?
Yes, please. Okay, is there a seconder?
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried.
Now I'd like to make a motion for the, to approve the, recommendation from the committee of the whole to approve the tender for the, generation equipment from Martin Machinery for the amount of $421,915 US.
Is there a seconder?
Seconded.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is the bylaw and policy recommendation. The first is the 2005 tax write-off policy amendment. We are talking about to establish a policy on council to allow a tax reduction when a building on a property has been destroyed or partially destroyed by fire, storm, or otherwise, and the resulting reduction in value is not reflected in the assessment. So, this is what this is about. So can I have a mover and a seconder?
I move that we adopt the recommendations in regards to the 2005 tax write-off policy amendment.
Okay.
Second that?
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. The next is the King's Transit budget for 2013-2014 for acceptance.
I'll move that we accept the budget put forward for the King's Transit for 2013-2014.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded, motion carried. Okay, the next is the advisory committees. And the first is the Digby Source Water Protection Advisory Committee. Councillor Adams, the minutes of September are there. The next is the Heritage Advisory Committee. Councillor Tudor, Councillor Adams, and I assume there has not been a meeting.
Not in a long time, no.
Okay.
It's every 4 months, I believe.
Okay. The next is the Planning Advisory Committee, Warden Gregory, Councillor Adams, Councillor Tudor. You have the minutes of March 2013. We have met in April. Yeah, we have met in April. I'm just thinking of the dates. And we are continuing on working on the Conway strategy of updates and reviews. Any questions or concerns? The next is the Police Advisory Board, Warden Gregory, Councilor Manzer, and Councilor Adams. The minutes of January 2013 is there. The quarterly report of January to March 2013 is there. I was not able to attend this meeting as I was away. And Councilor Adams, of course, is ill, so we would leave it to Councilor Manzer.
Oh, yeah. Nothing made, I don't think there's any. No? No? We have two new members who were sworn in, so they're out. Can't remember their names. I didn't write them down.
John Olmsted from Bayview and Lance Hasselbrink from Little River. They were both sworn in as new members, and Victoria Wilson, she didn't need to be sworn in, but she was reappointed. So, at the meeting, we discussed actually what we hope will happen with the merging of the two police advisory boards, the one with the town of Digby. Actually, Staff Sergeant John Ennis attended the meeting and had some very good suggestions for possible people to bring in that can provide some information to the committee. So, yeah, it was a really good meeting.
You know, there was suggested, well, we might meet even monthly for 5-6 months to try and get some of these visiting people to come in.
Get sitting in up and really excellent idea.
But if we only met every 3 months, it'd be 2 years before we got through. You know,
And then your
mentioned,
term is over.
he mentioned 5 or 6 people at different organizations that we could bring in. So,
Okay. We will see to that.
yeah.
Thank you. The next is the Remo Advisory Committee, Warden Gregory, Deputy Warden McAlpine. We have had no meetings since the last. It's just want to remind everyone that there is the training session on April 30th. Next is Western Region Housing Authority, our Fitzgerald. There has been no report, which is not due yet. The next is the Age Friendly Community Planning Committee, Councilor Adams. There's been no meeting. Airport Working Group, Deputy Warden McAlpine, Councilor Adams.
On April the 12th, the Airport Working Group met with our MP to discuss with him. We wanted to talk to him about the proposal of an unmanned drone park in Atlantic Canada and what our opportunities were for our airport. And because we had been shortlisted, and so we found out from discussions with him that at this stage anyway, that it's not a federally driven initiative. So we're still investigating to find out what our opportunities are there. So, and the Deputy CAO has been doing quite a bit of work on that in the past couple of weeks. So we'll keep it posted.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, next is the Annapolis Digby Economic Development Agency. Councilor Tudor, alternate Councilor Adams.
Stopped existing.
There is one final, there will be you have to have an annual general meeting, I think that's coming up in May,
Yeah.
and that will be the final meeting.
So right now, so we're just, so AGM coming. Okay, the next is the Bay of Fundy Marine Transportation Association. That's myself. You've had your news release and the updates. We are getting a meeting together, and we are working on meeting with Greg Kerr. We are looking at attending Port Days in St. John again. We are also trying to get the word out there. You know, we need people to keep understanding how important the ferry is and why you need the ferry. Sometimes it just turtles, and it's such a slow grind. We're not stopped, but it's, the process is slow. Got to be wooden.
With all the work that the federal government's done on the wharf in Digby and in St. John, that should be a positive
I'm
sign
hoping.
that there's still a commitment by the federal government to provide a ferry service. But I would think that we would know soon what direction they're going to take when it comes to providing another ferry for that operation. Because, you know, everybody's in limbo, I guess, and not just the service, but even trying to promote the service to tourism operators that provide like bus service. We've been told in the past that they work like 2 years in advance doing their planning, and if you don't know if you're going to have a ferry, it's hard to go after that their segment of the industry to try to attract them to use the boat. So, and as far as, you know, trying to get the word out, people to use it and all that, that's great, but they've had 8 or 9 studies done now, and I don't think you can study it anymore.
No,
And-
it's now just trying to show business cases, how it's working, how it's developing, you know.
But they've been doing that too for a long time, so I would think that we shouldn't have to continue to try to sell the service, because I think there's been enough information provided to the federal government of the impacts that service has on the southwestern part of this province, and the impact that would have if it didn't exist anymore. So I would think that after a while that we wouldn't have to sell it to them. They would actually be, our MP should be out there pushing for that boat as well.
What is being said is we've got to show a good business case.
I understand that, but I guess the thing is, I would have thought that that's already been done.
Well, but we've got to show how it will, if they get a new ferry, how it will be enhanced, how will it get better. Can't stay the same, it's got to get better, it's got to improve.
Yeah. And that, I can understand that. That's a service that's been in place for
Over 100
100 years almost. And I think if you have a service there that's affordable to the public, and that they have a schedule that would work with people, that you'll have people use it.
Oh, definitely.
We've been trying to provide strong linkage with St. John, New Brunswick, and to continue to foster that, you've got to have the boat in place. That should show that there's an interest to try to use the ferry service even more by the local business community. So, and as far as tourism goes, that's only one segment of the whole operation of that boat. I think the use of the boat by the commercial haulers should show that there's a true need for that boat there. I mean, they're using it on a daily basis, and
But we keep showing that and why it's important.
But anyway, I'm just
It's
curious
called-
to know why they keep not dragging it out, but I don't know why we have to sell it as hard when we all know that it's a very,
Because Ottawa is hearing from all across the country, not just from here.
I understand that. But I also understand that the cost of operating that compared to the cost of maintaining that same piece of distance on land would be comparable. So when if you had to build a new highway and maintain a new highway.
Oh, maybe they want to put a bridge on for us.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh, I know, I understand.
I don't want to
We
rant,
feel,
but I'm
we
just
feel
frustrated.
frustrated too. We do feel frustrated.
Mhm.
It's never-ending studies and
Well, there's gonna be no more studies, but it's just,
We have to do that year, every 4 or 5 years, you have to come up with a business plan and show how you're gonna improve it.
it's the improvement.
vast amounts of work looking for
It's,
excuse
you know,
to
a little
simplify.
bit cumbersome.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you've got dedicated people on that committee. And, right now, my hat goes off to Norm Lockyer. You know, he's right up there on the plate, you know. He impresses me, and, so does Chris. Right, he's another, you know, I mean, the committee's fantastic, and I can mention a lot of them, but those two just, you know, make you stand up and go, oh. The next is the Annapolis, Digby Annapolis. Development Corporation, Deputy Warden McAlpine, Counselor Tudor.
We had a conference call meeting on last Wednesday, and from that meeting, we are in the final stages of the sale of the Burns Hill property,
Mhm.
and the closing date is set for June 20th. 28th. So, you know, everything seems to be going forward now at this stage. So,
That's great.
that's all I have to report on that.
So we'll be soon down to one property.
And
Well, then we'll have to see what we can do there.
And the second property that we have, the county of Annapolis have done an RFP to real estate firms to try to market some of the municipal properties they have, and they've included this in the list. So I don't know where they stand with that right now, but they are working on trying to market that property as well.
Great. Okay, the next is the Digby Area Learning Association. Counselor Manzer, we have the January and February reports. After the, okay.
There wasn't any meeting in March, and April's meeting is Wednesday.
No, okay. Any questions for Counselor Manzer? Digby Area Tourism Association.
Didn't make the last meeting because I had a fireman association the same night.
Okay.
But there is a both acts
Mhm.
meeting coming up. In a week or so,
Next is the Digby Area Recreation Commission. Warden Gregory, Counselor Manzer. You have the March minutes and the newsletter. The biggest thing I want to say is Digby municipality and town were given all volunteer community of the year. Council, most of the councils of both went, plus our reps on DART. It was a wonderful presentation. I have the plaque in my office. It will be shown on the 24th, and when it comes back, I'm hoping it will be hung somewhere in the hallway. I'm going to sort of, I asked Linda about, I'd like to get a little picture to attach it at the council today, so it will always be there in the future. So when we get our council picture done, we'll get a little one for that. I just think it would be something, because things sometimes get moved and get, you know, and you don't always say, but, and I think it's nice to know who the council of the day was. Our April 24th, there is the people that that's been nominated in the town of Digby as volunteers will be honored. I hope most of you go. I know you had to register, and if you haven't, please call tomorrow and see what can be done. Make no guarantees, but it is a nice turkey dinner. I'm telling you to register tomorrow. Okay.
It's not gonna be,
No, they've changed the movie, but I'm just waiting now for when the new date is. The next is the Digby Harbor Port Association, the minutes of January, February, March, the AGM package of April. Any questions? We are having an information meeting here on the 25th, where we'll be discussing the trucks. We are not here just to make sure it's understood. We're only giving out information to concerned citizens. People need to know. It's going to be running until December. There's going to be a lot of truck roads of rock going through. I have the RCMP here. I have the project manager here of it. I have Reg Hazelton, the chair, and Jeff Sutherland, myself. I also have transportation, Mr. Harvey, who will be here, and so we'll be going through everything about compliance and
When's the date for
the 25th,
that?
here at 7 of April. It's to let people know what's going on. Deputy CAO may be attending, may not be attending.
My son's flying in from Vancouver tomorrow, I'm not sure.
Okay. You are fine?
I can send you.
Oh, okay, that'd be great. Your son's coming home,
Hmm,
and you think that's important, don't you?
right now.
And you should, I'm teasing you. Yes, I just wanted, just to make sure, as I have told all the participants, this is not, it's an information session, it's not a scream holler session, because that's not gonna happen. It's gonna be sensible, quiet, listening. Questions will be asked at the end if they have any questions.
What time?
7 o'clock. Next is the Digby Library Committee Deputy Warden McAlpine.
There's been no meeting since last council.
Digby Municipal Fire Association, Councilor Manson.
Finally got invited to a meeting.
Hey!
Thanks, Gordon, for. I've just passed the minutes in for January, we got the January minutes. The individual fire departments just gave your the reports, and the election of officials.
Who's the new,
The same,
Oh.
exactly the same.
oh, okay,
President, treasurer,
no change.
secretary, no change.
Okay. Highway 101 Task Force, Warden Gregory, Councilor Adams. We do not know when the next meeting is. We will come up with one. Is the public meeting still on the 23rd?
Yes, and that's why I want to have a meeting beforehand to plan for that public meeting. It's
Okay.
important we try to find a date soon.
Very soon. Industrial Commission Warden Gregory, Deputy Warden McAlpine, we have a meeting coming up at 1 o'clock on the 24th.
We do, and then on March the 28th, we met, and on that day, we discussed going forward. We had Mr. Harvey attend the meeting, and we also had Mr. McCollum, Peter McCollum, attend the meeting. He's helping us work on maybe some communication pieces. And what we're doing is we're getting ready to go forward with a strategic planning session for the Industrial Commission. And so that we're actually, when we meet on the 24th, we'll be discussing that some more. Also on April the 9th, we had an opportunity to meet with our MP, Greg Kerr, to talk to him about where we are with the title initiative, the title service center, and just to keep him up to speed as our MP. And we had a good meeting with him, and it wasn't an ask for money or anything like that at this stage, but we need to keep all the elected officials in the loop. So it was a good meeting. And on the 17th, some of the Industrial Commission met with two of the deputy ministers, the deputy minister for ERDT, that's the Economic Rural Development and Tourism, and we met with the deputy minister for energy. There was also representation in the room from the Premier's office and from the Department of Labor. And there again, we gave them an update of where we are with title, with the last study that's been done on the site selection. And we had a good meeting with them. I felt that it's very important for them to, I think, start to get more involved on going forward, especially when it comes to work discussing this with the federal government. And we've asked to be at the table with them when they have meetings with the federal government, which I feel that I think we probably will be. And I think we had some good discussions with them in that regard. I think they see us as being very proactive in the approach that we've been taking. They know and we know that if we just sit back and wait, it'll be too late. So I think that they appreciate the work we've done to date. And, and like I said, going forward, this is something that's bigger than just Digby area. It's going to have benefits for a lot of the province, direct and indirect. So, and I also envision seeing this title being, well, it could possibly be one of the better economic development opportunities this province sees in a long time, you know, so, and when it's started, it'll be a long-term project, no different than the Ship Start Here program. So it gives us a lot of opportunities between ourselves and Hampsport and Carsborough to be involved in this. So, like I said, that was a good meeting with them, and going forward from now, we've just got to do some, I think our next steps are doing some research on what the needs of industry are going to be when it comes to the requirements for a repair facility, so we know how we have to size it and possibly the amount of water they need for the ships and that they're going to have for berthage, so we know which site would be the most appropriate one for the industry. So our renewable energy coordinator will be continuing to work on that file.
Is there any timelines out there for anything like that? You know, this, you know, turbine's gonna be put in like in a year's time, or a couple test turbines, any timelines at all?
Yeah, I believe probably by this time next year, you'll probably see a couple of the proponents possibly be ready to put turbines in the water, just test turbines.
Yeah.
This industry is probably 7 to 10 years away from being commercially viable, but you know, we don't know for sure. I mean, it's all going to be determined on how the testing goes on the equipment they put in. This is some of the toughest water they're ever going to have to put a turbine in. Like when you're getting the water flow of up to 6 meters a second, it's very difficult to work in those situations. So this summer, I believe, the group called Force, which is the ones that are doing a lot of the research on the site, and they're actually involved with they've got a tidal R&D center up in Carsborough right now. They're going to be putting the electrical cable connections in the water, and I believe they're going to be trying to put one in the water this year. And they've got Atlantic Towing in St. John, New Brunswick, contracted to help do this. And last year, I think Atlantic Towing they went up there with a couple tugs trying to think that they could hold a barge in place to do this, and it's not going to happen with two. So they're using 4 tugs now. And so you'll see them, I think, go forward with this summer possibly. But they've got such a short window to work in between the tides, so it's going to be quite interesting to see how they do.
Thank you. The next is King's Transit Authority, Board in Gregory. The minutes of March are there. Since our last meeting, their manager has left, Ron Mullins. We had a scheduled April meeting that I believe is going to be canceled because she's asked for a date change, but I have not heard. She's come up with a couple of dates. I've heard neither. Like what's going to happen?
So I'll just leave that scratched.
Yes, let's leave it scratched out for now. And that came through on the weekend. Medic, Councillor Tudor, there's the minutes of January and March.
I'd like to point out, there's an agenda but no minutes for March. I was quite curious what the minutes were saying, if there was no actual minutes. It's just the agenda.
Oh. I have minutes. So
And do you have, was there a date set at that March meeting? For that?
yeah, I'm sure there was. Should be in the minutes.
You're not there.
No, I will look on my thing. You didn't get the March minutes?
No.
I will do a double check on my thing, because the minutes and the agenda are usually together. Doesn't matter. We will find it. I don't, on my own, I don't double check them, because I already know what they say. And that one where I attended, I didn't double check it. So I apologize. Pardon? I will check that. I may not have. Or they may not have been approved, and you may not have put them out with not approved. Senior Safety Committee, Councillor Tudor, Deputy Warden McAlpine, there's the minutes of February.
We haven't met since then.
Okay. Transport declare, Councilor Manzer.
No meeting for,
Okay.
since maybe November, December since we had a meeting.
Time Terrace Council, Deputy Warden McAlpine, Councilor Manzer, minutes of February are here.
Do you want to?
No, we're gonna, account.
Okay, we met on March the 27th, the last board meeting, and at that time, some of the things we discussed was planning for, during 2013, the 40th anniversary of Digby Terrace, and some of the initiatives that they want to try to accomplish during that time. We had our financial report, the administrator's report, and it was, we were told about the risk management with the infection control with the flu, and how having the houses compared to like the old building where it's all one big building, by having the houses, they can kind of shut down, or not shut down, but isolate some sections so that it contains it, and it really, it was effective in doing that. So it just showed that, so that they were able to contain it and manage the problem with the flu this time quite well. They also, under new business, we discussed the RFP for the insurance for the building for 2013-14, and they had two different proponents. Well, they had more than that. They had two that they looked at because they were dealing with the same insurance providers as the other ones. So they've looked at that and they've awarded the insurance that the board has. Was it to Marsh?
Yeah, what, Hendon was Fairway, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
It went to Marsh. The board decided because of the coverage that was so much different, there was so much more offered there. Anyway, that took place, and also we discussed having. Trying to remember exactly what it was again. There was one more thing. Let's see. We're looking at hiring somebody to do some work for us on organizational review almost. And there was different pieces.
Yeah.
There was different pieces to it. So the board,
Stages, yeah.
there's 5 stages to it. We've approved the first 3 stages, and there'll be a lot of benefits on it for succession planning for the organization, and looking at the basically an organizational review of the different needs for the staffing. So they're going to be doing that as well.
Because they're gonna have a big turnover in the next 2 or 3 years with people retiring or eligible to retire, and so.
Yeah.
Succession planning is really important.
And the only other thing to add to that is that on on April the 8th, we did meet at Tideview for the launch of the 40th anniversary celebrations, and they had a really good launch event, and there was quite a few people attended, and and I know that the staff plan on doing different events. They have 30 different events already planned, or they're working on the plans of, and they're hoping to have 40 events for the 40th anniversary.
Yeah, I see there's a pet show coming up. That's the next thing I saw.
Were you able to attend it?
I attended that, yes.
Because I got there around 3, and they said 2 to 4, right? And I get there about 3
Yeah,
from something else I was at.
I attended.
They were just starting to wind down.
Yeah. And the warden was there as well, and she gave greetings on behalf of the municipality. That's it for Tideview.
Thank you. I'm going to backtrack for a minute to Medic. Legislative check. You did not get the minutes of March, Pat. You just got the agenda.
Yeah.
Well, I just looked. So I want to make sure I apologize because I said I thought. And it was just the agenda they sent. The March minutes are not here. It must have just been Nancy was talking to me about them. And I must have saw them at work. I did get that opportunity, and I do apologize trying to make it sound like, but,
I'd like to get a copy of those too. She sent it through. I should be on her list anyway.
well, you should be. So she just hasn't said anything. I will speak to her tomorrow at work. so. I just wanna make sure that's plain. If I do something, I like to admit it and get it out of the way. So thank you, Pat. Upper Clements Park, Counselor Adams, the March minutes are there, and the 2012 AGM minutes are there. Again, Rich is not with us to this evening. Waste check, Warden Gregory and Deputy Warden McAlpine. You have the bylaw officer report of February, March, and the minutes of March and staff reports. We are not meeting again until May. There wasn't a lot of the meeting this time.
Well, we had a meeting, I chaired it, it lasted 22 minutes. It's a long ways to go for a meeting that lasts less than a half hour, so they're really, right now, that organization has changed a lot over the last year or so, in the fact that WasteCheck used to manage a lot of contracts, whereas they don't anymore. WasteCheck's mandate right now is to do education and enforcement for the most part, and that's what they do. And for the board to meet, you know, I don't mind meeting when there's business to deal with, but just to meet for the sake of saying, okay, there's a monthly meeting, well, it doesn't work. And we're down to 8 meetings a year right now, but if the workload of the board decreases, I could see us going to 6. If you know, we'd have to look at that and discuss that, but really, to go down there to have a meeting that lasts less than a half an hour, it is a waste of resources. And we didn't have really a whole lot on the agenda to discuss. We'd already had our budget passed, and we had basically staff reports. And
I see like, especially around budget time, we need 2 or 3 meetings in a row.
yeah,
And then we can go a couple of meetings without, like,
couple months.
yes, well, when I say,
There's one thing though that I do want to add though, is that on the April the 10th, they had the Resource Recovery Fund Board had their annual dinner for the students that were winners of the RFB program that they have for the education, and the children from all over the region participate in this, and we had four children from different schools in our municipality. So I attended the dinner. It was very well attended. It was a good dinner for the children. The chair was not able to attend. He had asked me if I would speak on behalf of WasteCheck as vice chair, which I did, and there were other board members that were able to attend as well, and it was a really good event. And it was really good to see some of the work that some of these students are doing, especially the older children. They did some videos, and there was a couple there that were really, really neat. And next board meeting, I'd like to see that the board has an opportunity to see these videos, because students put a lot of work and effort into it, and I think they did a great job. So, and RFB that has this program, they go around to the different regions around the province, and they give out bursaries for some of the students, and they give out prizes. A lot of the students get backpacks full of different things from RFB, and there'll be movie passes in it and different stuff. But their school classroom also gets a check, and it could be anywhere from $200 to $500. So that's really good for the schools too. They can use that money for different things, different programs, different things they want to do
for that class.
for that class. So it is a good event, and it's always been well received.
Is that the one they changed from Monday night to Wednesday night to accommodate us, and then we had another thing on Wednesday?
That's why I didn't
Yeah.
attend
No,
the
yeah,
doctor
we were-
one.
I forget where we were.
Yeah.
Doctors.
Yes.
Okay, the next is the Western Counties Regional Library, Deputy Warden McAlpine.
Been no meeting since the last council meeting.
Next is the Wayne Doctors Recruiting Committee, Warden Gregory, Council Manzer. It's an update on the dinner with the medical students from Sherbrooke. On April the 10th, we went to Weymouth, and we met with 6 second-year students who were doing a 2-week internship in the Clare Medical Center. We had 3 of the Clare doctors come, plus Dr. Westby. We had our committee go, and we just had a social time. We did not push anywhere how great and wonderful, but we talked, we let them talk. You sort of just did this nice and easy, a soft, very soft stuff.
Soft stuff.
Because we want them, you know, to be interested, but if you push down their throat, they're gonna run the other way. And we do have one girl that
The
is
girl, she's
interested
really
in
interested in
Weymouth.
Southwest Milton.
Yeah. I can see her in Weymouth, I really can. Another young man, he talked about how he'd like to go, he is from Quebec, and he wanted to go back to his rural community, and that's where he felt his roots would be. But before the evening, he said, you know what, I'd like to come back here next year and try this again.
Who's the boxing fan? I was chatting with
Yeah.
that guy.
So, we talked to their doctors there, and then that will be arrangements made with Clare Medical Center, not us. But by just letting him talk and saying how important it is, and saying, well, you know, all communities, that was my goal, all communities are important. And if you want to go back to your roots, that's where you should go. You know, I said there is other opportunities, but I really liked the chance that he came back with. I'd like to come back and see more. And I don't mean, you know, he was talking about the center. He was not talking about, you know,
Shark fishing?
shark fishing. He was talking about the center and how interesting it has been with talking with the clients. And like I said to him, if you were in Weymouth, there'll be English and French, which he could do both, of course. So, and I know that I saw avid conversations going on with Counselor Manzer, Counselor Tudor, Counselor Adams. I saw our CAO talking, you know, everyone, it was just a very,
I think it was very worthwhile.
Yeah.
Even after 4 or 5 years, if you were to get one doctor out of it. It's
well,
worth it.
I see this going on again next year when we have more students there.
But if you had, after 4 or 5 years, if you can get one doctor,
Oh.
it's worth it.
I was like, it's showtime. That's when the doctors came.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. It's like you said, soft sell, like, wow, come on down. Give me time.
But again, so you had to stay soft because they don't want to be shoved. So it's very worthwhile,
Oh,
very, very worthwhile. I really feel that this committee, is so good. Dr. Westby is so gung-ho, the Weymouth Village Commission is so gung-ho, we are so gung-ho, the citizen appointees are, it's just, it's all there. It feels good. And
we should also mention that Dr. Westby has been chosen as rural doctor of the year.
Yes. Thank you. And at saying that, I was going to bring this up, and I would like us, when the municipality, send him a gift. I don't know what we should send him, but I really feel that I would like to see our council send something in recognition. I mean, I know in the past, we've tried to do a little something for a doctor once in a while, and I mean, our own doctors, this is what we should be doing, and I'd like to see us.
What about a donation to he has a walk in May or June, he does a walk from Weymouth down to Matane. And he started maybe 7 or 8 years ago, or 10 years ago, and I think, it's gaining in popularity, there's more people joining. But
Is he walking?
he does it, I think he does.
So why not give him a $100 donation and a, $100, well, donation, whatever, in his name if he wants. And one of our, do we have shirts and stuff now, Linda?
The new ones come in? Yes.
Something for him, that maybe he'd wear it on the walk showing municipality of Digby. To his, what he liked. He's a very, very quiet person, I find. He's not, you know, it was Dr. Dontamont who mentioned this, and Dr. Dontamont himself had won it 3 years ago. It's very distinguished, and I mean, to come, Clare and Digby municipalities, that is really something, because it's showing that you have doctors that really care. You know, it's not just a, let's give it to you this year. It's hard foot work. So, thank you, George, for reminding me. Now, is there any other questions on the committees? If not, we are gonna go to council reports. Councilor Manzer.
Okay, back at the end of March, I attended the stakeholders group that were, in interest of the Crown lands that have been purchased by Bowater, and it was mostly to get ideas of, how to use that land, not as to how they're gonna use it. They were looking for ideas. And I also had a meeting with Nova Scotia Power Rep about the upgrades to the Sissebu generating stations, starting probably May to October. Then the supper with the doctors, volunteer recognition ceremonies in Halifax, police advisory, fireman association, land board of trade meetings, and Tideview Terrace kickoff for the 4th anniversary. Got there a little bit late.
It's all right, Nita.
Oh, yeah.
Counselor Tudor.
A lot of my little things that I always do for people, would drop offs and things like that. I'm working on 2 things for housing, a couple of requests for assistance, and a transfer from unemployment to illness, employment insurance, illness, stuff like that. But I'm working on my big meeting tomorrow, and hopefully it'll go well. I got the 3rd confirmation. During the Westport meeting, the Julie from the CBDC is going to be able to attend, and she's going to bring down a bunch of information for us. And I think that it's going to go quite well. I'm certainly hopeful. It's not the best time of year, but you know what time of year is. There's always seems to be weather or fishing season or tourist season, but this isn't going to be a one-off anyway, so I'm optimistic. And soup and sandwiches will be provided by the Westport Auxiliary, you'll be glad to know. Yeah, hopefully, yeah. Yeah, they're quite happy about it. They're always looking for a few bucks.
Thank you. Deputy Warden McAlpin.
Since our last council meeting, on March the 26th, I attended a session in Halifax that the mayors and wardens and CAOs were invited to attend. It was to talk about the regional enterprise networks and what the provincial commitment is going to be towards the establishment of the RENs throughout the province. And I've been working with them on that, and so that was a well-attended session. There was close to 90 people in the room. On April the 5th, I attended an AMA strategic planning session in Halifax and a board meeting. On the 15th, I also attended the volunteer awards function, and I thought that it was a very well attended and very, very appreciative. It's very good to see people in the room to see those awards for all the work they've done, because people don't volunteer to receive those awards. They do it for the community, but to be recognized, it's really special to see that. And Lieutenant Governor passes out the awards to them, and so I think that was it's a very, very good event. I've attended it 2 or 3 times throughout my time on council, and I've always enjoyed attending that session. I also had another REN meeting that day, later in that day, and then I attended a Renewable Energy Conference on the 16th and 17th in Halifax. And that conference was all about storage, and the warden and I both attended that, and it's probably one of the better renewable conferences that I have had the opportunity to go to. There's a lot of good ideas that's there right now with industry on how they're going to store energy, and that could be to our benefit in this area where we have such a poor grid system, and so maybe down the road it will give us the opportunity to go forward with some other renewable energy projects where we wouldn't maybe be able to do it otherwise. But if we could incorporate some of the storage components into our plans, then we may be able to go forward with some stuff. And just to touch on that, there was one thing that I'd like to get more information on, but there was a system there where you put in electric thermal storage units in your house, and it's a quantum system, And if you went forward with something like that, my thoughts were that that could be something the municipality could look at, seeing if we could offer that to our residents. No different than Halifax has done with the Solar City program. And we could possibly do the same thing with a thermal storage unit program here. So it's worth pursuing and investigating and doing some research on it. And I did have an opportunity to talk to one of the board members from the Green Municipal Fund, from the FCM, and he just told me to keep him abreast that we do want to put an application forward, and he'll lobby on our behalf too. So I think it's something it's worth and the only other thing I want to add is that up in Bear River on the Board of Trade is going to have a perennial plant sale and bake sale. They have homemade baked goods on Sunday, May the 12th, and it's at the Green Lantern Building, just as you drive into Bear River.
Is that Mother's Day?
I don't know. I don't know what I'm calendar, but
Mother's Day is Symbolic Day.
Yeah, May 12th is Mother's Day.
okay, well, you can go there now, buy the flowers, and take them and give it to your mother.
And I can
Maybe
give you some egg
maybe
tarts.
some homemade bread or cookies or something.
Homemade egg tarts. Is that time?
But the Board of Trade, they do a good job in Bear River. They've got a really nice website, and I get the upcoming
So do I.
Yes.
It's really
they
good.
do a great job.
Yeah.
And so, but I just want to pass that on. And also, one more thing. Artist Charles Cooper, they're having a book signing April 23rd to the 28th. So, that's my report.
Okay.
Jimmy, is there anything coming up in the near future with dealing with Rens and meetings or anything, like for us? Ren stuff?
With the Ren stuff, no, not at this stage, but I think what, talking to our CAO, and we were gonna see maybe if we had another meeting set up, probably when the spring workshop is taking place in Yarmouth, we're already gonna be down there. So, the different representatives trying to get the Ren up and going, can meet at that time. So, I don't know for sure if that's gonna take place yet, but that's
I
one
haven't
thing.
been back from the land, but I'll get in touch with them.
Yeah.
Okay. On March 25th, I attended the REN meeting in Halifax, as well as our CAO. Found it was a little bit controversial towards the end, but, your people were listening.
So we're yelling at them, are you?
I never yell. I personally didn't yell, I was listening.
Whisper kindly.
No, actually, I was there to hear what was being said, just,
You got me all curious though, what you said.
Oh,
so
just
I'll have to
some-
bother you later.
some people want everything else. On March the 26th, we met with Colfax with Deputy Minister D'Entremont, and had a meeting talking about Colfax and what it could do for our area. On March 28th, I met with a possible new doctor for the area. Haven't heard anything more back from it. On April the 2nd, I went toward the Medibus. On April the 6th, I attended the Digby Firemen's Annual Banquet, where there was some awards given out. On April the 9th, we met with Greg Kerr, and then we had the meeting about the energy drinks. On April the 10th, of course, we got our doctor recruiting. On April 15th was the volunteer provincial award ceremony. On the 16th was the energy conference, and the 17th, but I wanted to tell you, I was really pleased with Terry when he stood up in different times during the conference that he brought, and Digby wants to be known as, and I mean, he was just so good. And I had people talk to me after, Digby, that's the spot, right? That's what he said, we're trying. On the 19th and 20th, Linda and I went to the CEO CAO forum in Truro, which was well done. And then tonight we are here. Yeah.
Just to add about the renewable conference too, like, that's the reason why we go, just from what you just said, because we're networking and we're letting people know who we are.
Yeah.
And, I know from that, just being there and having a chance to talk to some of the people there, Terry and I talked to one individual, that this gentleman and someone else is gonna come down here, sit down and talk to us about maybe some opportunities. So, there's a lot of things out there, and it's a matter of going out and getting it. I mean, it's not gonna come knocking on your door, you gotta go chase it.
I talked to two of the speakers, I also talked to two of the different people that are working with us, you know, and there was lots out there. Like I said, it was good. And I was glad that we attended. My registration was free because of the invitation, which I was at least over. Yeah, so, yeah, that all helps. That plus my regular meetings, of course, I don't bring them up because they're already there. Now, is there anything else? Is there any questions from the audience?
Just one comment on
Yes.
data, the Area Tourism Association.
Yep.
They will be hosting a meet and greet on Thursday, April the 25th, from 10 until 12 at the Curling Club. There's people from Clare coming up as well. And then at 1 o'clock, they will be hosting their AGM.
What good money well spent there with Terry?
That's the tourism.
Yeah, that's the tourism needs data.
Are you around on the 25th?
Probably in the morning for a while, and I've got community use schools at 2, but I'm gonna try and make the
Meet and greet.
meeting 1 to, yeah. A little while for meet and greet, then 1 to 2 for
Yep.
meeting.
That's
Then we
great.
got community use schools at 2. So.
Yep, that's fine. That's great. If not,
Just one other thing.
yes?
On the coastline, I need a little clarification. I thought when Terry called us for our little blurb on the back there, is that for what things are going on in our district, or is that for things that we're meetings or things we're going
It's
to?
whatever you want to.
Just whatever we want, okay.
Mhm.
Okay, I thought it was just for things going on in our area.
Well, you try to, what's happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but, I just thought if I go to a meeting in Yarmouth, that's not really what's going on in my area, right? So
No, but if you want to think, if you think it's something important that's going to benefit, yeah, bring it forward. Definitely.
Let's them know that you're not just, lazing around drinking pina coladas.
With our two, lines or whatever, deputy warden.
I just wanna comment that, the lights are nice for the camera, but if we have a presenter here, I'm not gonna be able to look at them.
Yeah, that is bright.
So, I think we're gonna have to modify those lights somehow, because they're gonna take your eyes out if you try to, that one especially, now you probably get that one.
It's like the sun or something.
I've been keeping my head down.
Right, so I
I
guess,
thought Blues Brothers sunglasses.
That's what we all
well,
need.
we're gonna need
We
them,
all
we're gonna keep those
dollar
lights,
store.
but
They're making a good joke.
I can't look up either, and, so I'd like,
That's why I've had my head down all week.
Work in progress.
It's come.
and I mean, it's nice to have the lighting for the camera, but we're gonna need to adjust it somehow.
We'll put them on her.
There's talks about maybe something up overhead, down, track lighting type, just,
That would make it
Yeah.
better.
That'd
you
be
do
better.
show up quite dark in the,
Mhm. Okay.
Okay. So I would like to take a recess. Before we take the recess, I'd like to say thank you to the staff for